Welcome. Today we're doing a quick news brief on a really important new idea in artificial intelligence. It's called the capability overhang, and it gets to the heart of a major issue. The AI revolution is here, but not everyone is really cashing in on its benefits.
So, let's dive right in. There's a new term floating around that you're going to hear a lot more of, because it's absolutely central to understanding AI's real-world impact.
And that term is capability overhang. So what does it mean? Well, think of it as the growing gap between what these incredible AI systems can do and the actual value that most of us or most businesses are getting from them. It's that space between a tool's full potential and how it's actually being used day to day.
Okay, so there's a gap. But why does that even matter? I mean, so what if some people are pushing AI to its limits while others aren't? What are the actual consequences of that?
Well, it matters a whole lot, because this overhang is fueling a pretty big problem, a widening productivity gap. And this isn't just a theory. We can actually see it happening in the data right now.
And get this, the data shows a pretty staggering number. 7 times. That is how much more compute power the most advanced power users are using compared to your average user. A 7-fold difference. That's creating a massive divide.
And you know, that 7x number isn't just about using AI more often. A typical user might ask it to do something simple, a one-off task. But a power user, they're weaving AI's most advanced features into really complex work, and that's creating way more economic value. That is the capability overhang in action. And the stakes for closing this gap, they are absolutely huge. We're not just talking about getting a promotion at work. If we can manage this overhang, we could unlock some incredible benefits for all society. Things like double-digit GDP growth, cheaper and better healthcare, and a massive speed up in scientific breakthroughs. So the big question is, what do we do about it? How do we actually start to close this gap? Well, there's a clear 3-point strategy being proposed that could offer a way forward.
This strategy is built on 3 really solid principles. First to truth, access, and self-empowerment. So let's just quickly break down what each of those really means.
All right, first up, first to truth. Look, when things are changing this fast, good information is everything, right? We need solid, real-world data on how AI is actually changing jobs and productivity. That way, everyone, from you and me to the people making policy, can make much smarter choices.
The second principle is access. And this one is simple, but it is so important. As AI becomes a bigger part of the economy, making sure everyone can get their hands on the basic tools and the computing power behind them is, well, it's not a luxury anymore. It's essential. Without it, people and even entire countries are just going to get left in the dust.
So what does this access actually look like in practice? Well, here's a concrete example. Pushing for free ad-supported versions of major AI platforms. This is a very direct attempt to make sure these game-changing tools can help everyone, not just the people who can afford a subscription.
And finally, we have the third pillar, self-empowerment. This is all about designing AI as a tool that people can use to build their own futures. For most of us, that might be help with a budget or finding a new job. For founders and builders, it's the power to take these cutting-edge capabilities and spin them into brand new companies and products.
So, when you put it all together, the path forward starts to look a lot clearer. By focusing on truth, access, and empowerment, the real goal is to close that capability gap and make sure everyone gets to be a part of this new age of intelligence.
You know, all of this brings to mind a fantastic quote from the computer scientist Alan Kay. The best way to predict the future is to invent it. And that really hits the nail on the head here. Closing this gap isn't something that's just going to happen. It needs all of us, a whole community of people actively playing with these tools to figure out all the amazing things they can do. And that leaves us with one final crucial question. The intelligence age isn't coming, it's already here. The only thing left to figure out is, how are you going to participate? Thanks for tuning in.